clubbing has officially died off for me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first got into clubbing or just going out in the scene of nighttime, the bars, clubs, social events, it was very fun. Whether or not I drunk alcohol or not, because I'm not really a big fan of drinking alcohol. I did not smoke back then. About high school, I never was a party guy. I just went home and played the game. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really have much of a social life outside of, school. I just kind of went home, played the game. Never went to a high school party. I actually went to a high school party the year after I graduated, strange enough. But the fact of the matter is, when I first got into it, everything was fun because, bro, I'm going to, different environment, different bar experiences. I'm a young jit. I never experienced all this shit that I'm experiencing. It's just a new world opening up to be able to go out to bars and clubs to turn 21 and get alcohol. And I feel like this is how it is for most people. You turn 18, you turn 21, you finally get some freedom to go out there and explore the world. It's something new you explore. Now, whether or not you get tired of it depends on you. Some people get tired of it faster than others, but ultimately it all comes to time, day, and age where eventually you will get tired of it. It just depends on the person. Now, what has ultimately got me to the point where I don't enjoy going out in nightlife or clubbing, it's always kind of been like that, but I just always went to experiment and try and get a girl to come home with me and get some cheeks for the night. But ultimately, over the last few weeks, I honestly realized it's not worth my time, and the simple fact that there's multiple flaws for it. For one, I don't believe in drinking alcohol, and I don't drink alcohol unless it's on a special occasion or my friends might peer pressure me to take a shot, one or two, right? Now, when you go out sober, you oftentimes realize that you're looking at all these people around you who have alcohol in their systems, and you're kind of a little bit disgusted by their behavior and their actions, or not. If you're not disgusted, you're either irritated because people with alcohol, it restricts their limiters, or it takes away their limiters, so they're more so do things without thinking, which oftentimes can either be annoying, irritating, or just straight up like, what the fuck are you doing? This shit is disgusting, right? And you're sober, you're not seeing it like how they're seeing it. You're kind of more so on the edge of thinking in a sober mindset, and it's just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I here? It's not only that, bro, it's also harder to get lit in a club when you're sober, just off the simple fact that it's just like, not that you're judging, you just don't have the energy to do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's really the main big reason why I'm done going to clubbing. But another thing that's really triggered this shit recently was the females that I met clubbing. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the females that I met clubbing, there have been some instances where I went home with a girl, or I got a girl's number and we later hooked up, and I actually still do fuck with those girls. But a lot of the times, the girls that come with going out to the club, it's just not worth it in the long run. And let's be honest here, the reason why most guys go to the club is either to spend time with their boys while also getting girls, but girls is a big reason why they go out to the club. Or if you didn't want to go out and get girls, you could just simply go to a sports bar or a bar in general and not have as many girls. We obviously go to the club to get girls. Let's not lie here or lie to anyone else, right? But the problem with that is a lot of the girls who go to this club environment ultimately are not up for grabs for hookups, or they're just time wasters and attention seekers. Now, recently, for the last month, I have not really went to any social events except for Jiho, and then I think I went out in Charlotte, where I told the story where I smashed the tour or whatever, right? In the instance of when I went out in Charlotte, yes, I had some choosing signals. Yes, I had some girls come up to me, but ultimately most of the girls were wasting my time. And then before I went out in Charlotte, I was ultimately going out where I currently live right now. And I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of why I took the hiatus on going out in the general area of where I go right now, and I chose to go to Charlotte, is because, bro, there were girls who kept choosing me and wanting to talk to me, but ultimately tried to play in my face and went nowhere. And I just kept feeling the ultimate disrespect. And then I took some time to where I didn't go out, and I realized I was getting more play from just staying in, posting stuff on my Instagram, posting stuff on my dating apps, and optimizing the time and things that I'm doing and focusing on my schoolwork, and not actually worried about going out looking desperate, thirsty, and just trying to attract these women in a club environment. Because I also feel like, bro, the way you meet a woman matters a whole lot, bro. If you go into a club and she sees you're kind of acting awkward, or you're not that guy, acting like you're not that guy, it kind of makes your attraction for her a little bit lower, versus if she sees you on a dating app and she already thinks you're attractive, or she sees you on Instagram and she already thinks you're attractive. Now, the times I can tell you I've kind of fumbled some girls in the club just because they caught me off guard and it wasn't, what I expected them to say, or just, shocking or unsettling, even though I'm pretty good and keen on game, there are certain situations that can happen in a club that just ultimately catches you off guard, and if you don't move on it, they think you're a pussy. I do feel like I've missed out on some, pretty attractive girls shooting their shot, and once you miss out on that option, they kind of just throw you in that category and you never really get that shot again, unfortunately. But ultimately, up until these first few weeks that I've been going out of this school year, because I live in a college town, right? I went out, and these girls have just been playing with me back to back to back to back to back. And then not only that, there's girls that I used to mess with in the past that have kind of formed a group, because I'm not gonna lie, I was getting around there where I was fucking friend groups and shit. I don't have the energy and the time and the effort to see these girls and these friend groups form that I fucked. And then now they're being weird, making these faces, doing all this extra shit. I don't want to run into them. It's just something I don't want to deal with. Not only that, bro, we had these girls who's playing with me. As I said, bro, I had 2 girls who played on my time and top in a weird ass way, which really pissed me off and made me realize, bro, all that success I used to have in the day, I forgot how many numbers and how much shit I was collecting. Because I'm not gonna lie, club life has just died off in general as well, just off the simple fact that, I don't know, with this day and age, as social media progress, our egos and everyone wants to be mysterious, misunderstood, all of that in the above, right? So ultimately, for one, these girls tend to go out with more of a pact, and then secondly, these girls tend to, hold themselves to, I don't know what type of fucking ego they got going on, but they have a higher ego, which, for example, bro, one time I was walking the strip, and as I was walking the strip, this one girl comes up to me and says, "Hey, can you be my boyfriend?" But I start talking to them. I ask her, for her number. But my thing is, I'm going to put my number in your phone. And that's where she gave me some little bit of resistance, right? So she didn't let me put my number in her phone. And she's like, "No, I'll put it in yours." So I ultimately end up giving in, because at the end of the day, bro, for most of the times, I always feel like if a girl does this, it's probably not going to go nowhere. But, I try to just to, reinforce that, rule that I have in my head, right? Mind you, I also asked for this girl's Instagram. I got her Instagram. For one, she never followed me back on Instagram. 2, she never texted me. But guess what? She was the one who was pressing up on me. That shit was very weird to me, and it made me mad. Then a second girl who pressed up on me actually did some weird shit, some very extremely weird shit that pissed me off. For instance, I texted her. I was trying to hook up with her that same night, and she basically said, "Oh, I have to go to work the next day." I said, "Okay, that's fine." She said, "I'll let you know." I said, "Okay." And then she texted me in the morning, say, "My fault, I fell asleep." I'm like, "Okay, you're good." Then 2 hours later, she says, "My fault, I was at work." I said, "Oh, no problems." Then again, this same woman says, "Oh, my fault, I was busy." What the fuck are we doing here? What type of games are you trying to play? I don't understand. I don't even know why you're still doing this. I'm saying you're good, and you're just looking at me like I'm a chew toy or some fucking toy. No, I'm not fucking with it. And that's the case with most women. I'm not even gonna lie to you either. Most of the girls who are on go for the night, 9 times out of 10, they either met or cute, because all the cute girls move in a pack, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, you don't have to catch a cute girl in a really extreme time. I'd rather just stay in the crib, get my work done. Not only get my work done, focus on myself. And then I've been doing that lately, and guess what? I fucked 3 bitches last week. Mind you, the only event I went to was G-Ho. I didn't get nothing off of G-Ho. But before I went to G-Ho, I was in the crib doing my schoolwork, focusing on myself, and I fucked 3 bitches last week. I don't know if that's just God rewarding me, saying, "Hey, you focusing on yourself, they gonna come to you when you're not, out there chasing them, out there trying to get at them." But they just fell on my lap. I'm kidding you not. They literally just fell on my lap, and it was just easy like that. All I've been doing is posting on my Instagram. All I've been doing is, been on dating apps. So that goes to tell you, when I was going out there to every club event every fucking Friday and Saturday, I wasn't getting shit. I wasn't. And then I stopped. They back on me, bro. That's just the beauty of, focusing on yourself and bettering yourself, and actually, presenting yourself in the best light. Because honestly, let's be real, bro. Clubs died off a long time ago, bro. Niggas want to go in there and act like, they him, not fucking sit there and get jiggy. Like, I remember when I was 18 years old, bro, I used to go in a club and I used to start jumping. And that's another reason why I think I used to get so much success back in the day. But I'm not gonna lie, I was 18 at the time, so I would go in there and just, like, just jump, bro. And I'm not doing that now. I'm a little bit older, I don't care about reputation, but I'm not gonna go in there and do all that. But that goes into my point, bro. The only reason why I don't feel comfortable doing all that is because no one else is doing all that, bro. Everyone want to go on that shit and fucking sit on the walls, bro. If everyone was doing that shit and actually, getting loose at the club, I wouldn't have a problem doing it. But I ain't gonna be the only one doing it, and all these motherfuckers looking at me, especially if I'm in a black function. Oh, fuck no. But that's my input on, the club situation, the club shit. I just feel like I naturally grew out of it, onto new things, onto new methods, onto better things. It is what it is.